Hi, Dimoral. Hi, Deep. Thank you for joining to our weekly study jam on object-oriented programming in Python. And previously, we started our first step into this journey, and we learned about what attributes are, what is the class. We have created, we created our turtle game, these cute turtles, the race game, right? Using just the attributes of an existing class. And the class was used is turtle, the pre-built class, and we could access or modify some attributes like color of these turtles to create this game. And I hope you could see the file of the class itself, and you could a little bit maybe create some other objects, maybe modify the attributes. And today I'm going to show you how to create a different game. And we're gonna learn more closely what class is, what it constructed, how it is constructed, what it consists of. And the game we're gonna do is a room, and we can navigate through these rooms. So imagine it's like a flat with different kind of room, and we're gonna navigate through different rooms. So we should have a classroom, and this class is the backbone, like a model, and we're gonna create objects rooms, like kitchen, for example, dining room. It's gonna be our objects, and then we're gonna navigate through these rooms using like south, east, west, by linking different rooms together. And let me share my screen with the terminal. And okay, so we first start with the first file. So we're going to create the first file, and I'm going to just I'm here in this folder, the current folder, which is just my main folder, and I'm going to create another folder of week 2. So let's say week 2. So this is our week 2 of object-oriented programming. And then we're gonna navigate through this folder. So now I'm here in this object-oriented programming week 2 folder, and we're gonna create the file room.py. This room, could you see it? Should I do a little bit more, like bigger? Okay. Oops. Okay. Now this file room.py is the file that's gonna contain our class. Okay. And let's go to this room. I think I forgot the command. Just find quickly. Excuse me?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, so I use this Vim method to just open in terminal this file that we created, room.py. And here we're gonna start defining our class. So as the name suggests, room.py is gonna be our room class, right? We first will define class using the class keyword, and then the name of our class, which is room. Okay. Now we created the class, and we're gonna create the constructor of our class. What is constructor? Constructor defines the attributes. It allows to connect the attributes to the object that we create. So how to create this constructor with the attributes? Attributes is our data, right? We're gonna use the init, we're gonna call init method. So this is gonna be created using the def keyword. So definition, right? And then underscore init, and then underscore. And then we're gonna use pass the self keyword. So self is a special keyword that refers to this object that we create. And usually when we pass this self, you know that here we usually parse the data to the method, right? But when we define self, we don't need to parse any data. It's just usually it's like automatically passed. So we just create self to connect the object to the data, to the attribute of our class. And here we're gonna define some data of our room class. So what kind of data we can define? It can be the name of our room and a description of our room. How to define a method? We use the self, so we refer to this object. So self is our object. We refer to this object, and then using the dot notation, we define the name, which is first gonna be none, like empty, no name. And then using the same dot method, we define description. And here, when we refer to this self, the data, this one, could be anything. It depends on our tasks. So it's not like a defined method. This is what I define. So my rooms, we're gonna have name information, description information. It can be like a size information, anything, right? So now this name and description will refer to the objects we create. Okay, so it means like this object has the name something, this object has the description of something. Now so in this classroom we have defined attributes such as name and description using the constructor init. Okay, so to summarize what we did so far. And okay, so imagine that when we create our object, we're gonna define what kind of room we're gonna create. For this, we will parse the name of our room to the class, to the constructor of the class actually. And because of this, we will parse one more parameter to this constructor, which is going to be a room name. And when I'm going to parse this room name, I'm going to update the name of my room to the room name that I have defined. Okay, so before I just showed you how to create constructor and how to create the attributes using the self keyword, right? But now when we're gonna actually create the room, we're gonna parse the name of our room, for example, kitchen, and then update. So the name of our class or object is going to be kitchen, and then we're going to have a description. Okay. So now we have created the room class, and I'm going to press escape, then colon. You can see here on the left bottom corner, then WQ to save this file and exit this editor. And I'm going to create another file, which is going to be our main.py file. Okay, and oh, I just okay, I created and entered the edit mode directly. Okay, so it's written here new because there is no main.py file, and I should have, or you can create the file first, like using the touch, and then using the vim go to the editor mode. But if you type vim main.py, you just create and enter the editor mode. Okay, so why we need this main.py file? This is actually where we're gonna import our class, as we imported turtle class, and then we will create our object using this class. So as I said, first of all, we need to okay, so you need to edit this file. You need to press I to insert, and then you're gonna see this insert information. Now I can enter some code, and I'm going to import room from class. So it means I'm going to import a room from the room class, and this will allow me to create the object of a class room. Okay, and let's say the first room that we create is going to be a kitchen. So this is the kitchen, and I create an object by calling a room class. And here is, if I just create kitchen room, I can create a kitchen, but to define that this is the kitchen, I need to parse the name of our object, right? Kitchen. And this parameter will go to the constructor. Remember, we defined constructor, and in this constructor, it's going to be saved in the name attribute. So our name is going to be equal to kitchen now. Okay. Hi, Abdullah. We are continuing this journey in object-oriented programming, and we have defined our room class, a little bit of a room class, and we are creating our first object, kitchen. And I'm going to edit our room in a couple of minutes, so don't worry if you missed some information. Now, if I want to create another room, for example, any other room, could you write in the chat or just unmute yourself freely and suggest me how to create another room? So we have created kitchen room. How to create another room?
For example, washroom equal to room washroom.
Yeah, that's simple, right?
Yeah.
Let's stop here and just save this file and go to another definition of the class. Okay, sorry. let's go to the room.py. So this is our defined class. It has just a constructor in it. This constructor helps us to define the attributes of our class. And okay, so now we're gonna use a new concept called getter and setter. Why we need the getters and setters? We use setters to provide to modify our attributes. For example, let's create a setter which is going to be used to provide the description of our description attribute. So I'm going to use def set description. And as usual, we're going to refer to this object using the self parameter, which is always going to be present in the room class, but we never parse this attribute, this parameter when we create the object. And then we're going to also parse a room description parameter or data, as we did with the room name. And then we're going to refer to this object using the self keyword and then description. So before we had a description empty, none, and now it's going to be equal to the description that we provide. Yeah, so it's going to be equal to the room description. Okay, so now when we create the room object, we provide the room name, and we also can define the description of our room by providing the room description. That's simple. Now, what's the getter? So getter allows to return attributes. For example, I'm going to create the get description, and it will only have a self parameter, which, so this method is going to return the description. So I'm going to just write return self description. Okay. And I'm going to remind you that the difference between return and print is that return only returns some data, but never prints it. So we can expect that if we run our description, get description method, we will get nothing, right? Unless we print something. So unless we print this description. So how can we print it? Let's define the definition of the print statement so that we can maybe test our program as it is now. I'm going to define a new method. So here we just worked with the attributes, and now we're gonna work with the methods of a class. Yeah. So let's define method. Let's say, let me just see. Actually, we can define it any name. Let's say print description. And I think maybe it's correct. Just a quick check. Yeah, let's check this when we create the object. Now let's go to the main.py file. here we're gonna, first we have created the names of our rooms, and let's create the description. So, oh, I think I found a mistake. Okay, let's just quickly edit our room file, because I think I understand what's wrong here. And I'm going to explain why I did this mistake. So in this definition of our print statement, print description, we cannot just write the method get, for example, getter or setter or any other methods as it is, like as we would in the main.py file. Anytime we refer to data or method, we should use the self keyword. Yeah, so div is correct actually. We should use the self keyword. It means refer to this object and retrieve or some data or run some methods, okay? And as we refer to this object, what we need to do is actually we need to print the description, right? So it means just print the description. Description is just an attribute. So we're gonna access the description using self description method without any brackets. So just like this, so simple. We don't need to, so getter is going to return description, but the to print this description, we need to use just print self.description. And now I think we are good. We can save it and go to the main.py file. And here, let's create a description to our rooms. So I'm going to use kitchen dot, and then I'm going to define, let's say, some definition. What is my kitchen room? I'm just going to use the example to define the rooms. And you can now think about any other rooms and the description that we can do to these rooms. It's just an example. So in this example, it's a dank and dirty room, buzzing with flies. Okay, nice. Okay. We have a washroom. Do you think we can continue with the washroom, or would you like to create another room and create the description? Okay, I see chat. Let's say bedroom. Okay. Let's create the bedroom. I'm going to do this for you, but feel free to write the complete statement in the chat. And then let's define the description. And as you see here, I use the set method, right? Because we are setting the attribute description. Setting means defining the description. Okay, let's say this is going to be a, I don't know, like the large room with window, for example. I don't know. Just let's say a big window. At this point, maybe it's not necessary to be creative, but I hope after this study jam, you can experiment. Okay, and now let's try to print this description. So we're gonna ask bedroom, for example, dot print. Hope I use this method, print description. Okay. And I think that's it. Let's just check it. Ah, yes, okay. We see here the type arrow. It means print description takes no arguments, but one is given. This is actually the self.
Yeah, we haven't added self in description.
We haven't added what? Okay, let's oh, I see. Oh, maybe not. In NumPy, I think we have defined print description. Let's say let's just check our room.py. Oh, yeah, I got it. We forgot as well. So anytime, as I said, we create a method, we should use the self. So we always define this in our class, but we never parse it, right? So I think now it should work. Okay, so I have here a large room with a big window, and we know that this is the description for the bedroom. Yeah. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do next? We're gonna use the concept of dictionary. Remember from the previous lessons what dictionary is? It's a collection of keys and values, and we can access our values by calling the keys, right? For example, if I say, for example, a dictionary called university, and then the key is undergraduate, and then the value is, for example, 1,000. So we have 1,000 people in the undergraduate. And we're gonna define why we need this dictionary. We're gonna create we're gonna link our direction to the rooms, because we want to create the game which gonna navigate through these rooms. And let's first define our I think we need to define the room.py. Let me check. Yes, okay. .py. is going to be the method that links our rooms. Now, I think I have to, we first need to create an empty dictionary called linked rooms. And I think it should be maybe here. Let's first define it here and then maybe modify it if necessary. And then I'm going to define a link room. As usual, we parse self, and then we're going to define a room to link, which is the room. So we define, for example, a kitchen, and then we link it to another room. This is the room to link, and the direction. So we define in what direction this room is located. And I think, is it possible to no, is it possible to draw? Yeah, I think it's possible. Okay, so imagine we have this kind of no mouse, and okay, imagine we have this kind of a flat. Okay, do you see my drawings?
Yes.
Okay, and imagine we have here a kitchen, and then we have here a bedroom, and we also need another room maybe defined, which is going to be like a dining hall, right? D. And we're gonna, why we need this? So when we define the direction, like for example, north, and then room to link, it's going to be a kitchen. So if we define west, it's going to be a bedroom, okay? So that's why we need a room to link and direction. And we're gonna say self-linked room, linked rooms. And we're gonna, so this is the dictionary, right? So how we populate this dictionary, how we modify the dictionary. We use these square brackets to define the key, and the key is going to be our direction. So it means if I go to the north, I'm going to be in the kitchen, right? So it's going to be direction, and then the room to link. Okay, I think we are done here. And let's define let's properly define our rooms. Okay, I think we have now identified the structure of our house, and we have a kitchen. Let's say this is not the washroom, but the dining room. And it's going to be written dining room. And we have a description of a kitchen, and let's also provide the description of a dining room. How I can do this? Could you please maybe unmute yourself or write in the chat? You said set description, right? And I'm going to provide a string. So it's going to be dining room. Let me just, I don't want to think much about the description. Let's just see example.
A fancy table.
With a fancy table?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Room with fancy table.
A room with a fancy table. Nice. Love it. Okay. And okay, so we have here dining room, kitchen room, bedroom, and then instead of printing, so now we don't need to print any description, maybe. Let's just define linking of our rooms. Yeah, so maybe I hope you can see this diagram. And now, how can we link our rooms? So we have, so we need to, I just want you to think about, so when we access the description of our rooms, we use the dot notation and use the set description. Why we use set description? Because this method allows to define the description, right? If I, for example, want to access the name of our object, which is a bedroom, I'm going to use a bedroom dot name, like this. Yeah. Now we want to link rooms together. Could you please think a little bit and share your thoughts? How can I link room together? What should I type here after the dot? And knowing the structure of our flat, so we have kitchen here, dining room, and the bedroom. So we know the direction, we know the room to link, and we have already defined a function, or a method, I should say, a method that links room together.
Link room.
Right, link room. And in this link room, we need to provide two parameters, right? So the first is a link, a room to link, and a direction. So for example, if I use the bedroom, this one, if I say link to room, and then I need a room to link, so the only room it is linked to is the dining room, right? Yeah, we know that here is some linking, but let's say we have the movement, just the horizontal line. And let's say we have here the movement here. I hope you can see. Can I change the color? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's have this color. Oh no, I hope you can see it. Okay, can you see? Maybe no. Okay. Draw. This movement. This link to the rooms. So a room to link, I'm going to help you a little bit. A room to link is going to be dining room. And what is the direction? We're going to, so south, north, south, west, east, right? And we need to provide string. And okay. Now, if I say linking to our room, it means, for us, it means like we linked two rooms. But in this program, it means you allow movement from bedroom to dining room. But if you want to go from dining room to bedroom, you now cannot do this. You need to provide a link to the room. Yeah. So if I say dining room dot link room, how many of these statements should we have? dining room dot link room. Because there are two rooms, we're going to have two dining room to link rooms. One that links dining room to the bedroom, which means it allows the movement from dining room to bedroom. And another is a linked room from dining room to kitchen, which allows movement from dining room to kitchen. Yeah. So I say here bedroom, and we define this is the west, movement to the west. And then similarly, we have dining room dot link room, and we have kitchen, and the movement is north. And if we have the movement from dining to the dining room, then we also need from the kitchen to the dining room. And I'm going to define it here. Link room, and dining room. And the movement is to the south. Okay, now we defined, linked and defined our rooms. What we need to do next is, maybe we should try and check. Check this. Okay. So now we have the structure of our rooms. Let's say our game is, we're going to print the current room that we are located in. Then we're gonna ask the user which way to go. And then we're gonna update, we're gonna first be located in the room. We're gonna print details of this room. And then we say, okay, user, please give us the direction. And then we give the direction and we go to another room. And then we print the details of this room, okay? Let's save this file and go to the room.py file. Here, we're gonna create a new method. Which is going to be get details method. Okay. Dev. Get details, and it's gonna have no other parameters rather than self. And then we're gonna iterate over our linked rooms. So now all the rooms we have are in these linked rooms, right? Okay, and we're gonna iterate over these linked rooms, which means we iterate over the directions, right? We iterate over the keys of this dictionary, and we're gonna we're gonna create rooms, which means we're gonna save, after we define the direction, we save our room, and we're gonna print this room. So it means when the user give us, for example, the command south, we know that if we are in the kitchen, then we need to print the dining room, okay? So I say for direction, this is our keys. In self, in our dictionary self linked rooms. And I'm going to define our room, which is a self-linked rooms direction. Okay, and we're gonna print what is the room. in self-linked rooms, key direction room link. Self-linked room direction room. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Abdullah. Yes, room to link. That's correct. Yes, we just, thanks to Abdullah, we just avoided unnecessary errors. Get name. Actually, we haven't defined get name, right? We should define get name. And also, okay. So our room, the something room is, and then we just print the direction. We call the direction. So this method is going to loop through the direction, through the dictionary, self-linked rooms. And for defined direction, it's going to print the direction and the name of the room in this direction. So for example, in the current direction, for example, in this directory, the, for example, kitchen is south, okay? And let's define the get name. Let me a little bit decrease. Can I do this? Maybe what's wrong with this? Nope. Okay, I can increase this window, but I cannot decrease it. I hope you can see what I wrote. Let's go to the main.py. And then here, we need to just call these get details. Dining room. Let's test it. Q. There is no mistakes, but we never know. Okay. Okay. The bedroom is west. The kitchen is north. It's correct, but it's just one word. Let's see. I missed. I missed the spaces. Yes. Okay. Here. The something is, it's a good practice actually. We already learned how to print, right? Remember, now we have the same mistakes. Not a big deal actually. Okay, let's check again. Okay, so because I used already the same commands, you can just print arrow up and it will show you last commands. Okay, so I think I just maybe need to print again. Okay, the bedroom is west, the kitchen is north. We are good. now let's move between rooms, right? Oh, we have only 5 minutes. Let's define quickly the move method here. And okay, so the move method is going to have, again, the self keyword and then the direction. So we specify as a users, we specify the direction, and then so there are two options. If the direction is in this dictionary that we defined before, then we just return the room that we are in, right? And then if there is no such direction, for example, if I say, if we are in the dining room and I say south, so there is no any room, right? We just should print, for example, you can't go that way, or there is no room there. There is just emptiness or something. So we're gonna use the concepts of conditional statements. So if the direction that we parse as users, if this direction in self-linked rooms, so if it's in the dictionary that we defined, then what we need to do, we just return the room itself, right? How we return the room? Knowing the direction. Could you please share with me? So I just want to test a little bit. I think it's a practice for you to test your knowledge about the dictionary. So I just defined, so if direction in self-linked rooms, so linked rooms is this dictionary. And remember, we populated this dictionary using this method, linked rooms. Then we define the keys direction, and the keys has the value a room, right? The name of a room. Now, if the direction that we as users defined in input, like we, for example, say south. If the south is in the linked rooms, is this key is present, then return the room. How we can return the room? How to return the value from the dictionary? Or how can we access the value of a dictionary? We actually already did it here. Yeah. Let me see the chat. Okay, div return room to link. Yeah, but you need to room to link is it's not going to work. Why? Because we don't need to, first of all, we cannot access a value from the dictionary just by calling room to link. You only access values if you use a key or you use a method like dictionary values, dictionary.values or dictionary.items, right? And another point is that we don't need to retrieve any room to link because there are many room to links, right? We only need to retrieve the one that has this kind of direction, this certain direction that we as users defined. So how to do this? We just use this method, right? So if I say linked rooms direction like this, what it is actually? It's a value. This is actually a value, right? It's not a key, it's actually a value. And we say value means this value. So I say if this direction is present in the dictionary, then return its value. Self linked rooms direction. Direction that we received from user. Okay, and sorry for taking a little bit of time. I want to just finish this method. I will say an else if this is not present, this direction is not present, then we just print a statement. There is no room there. Okay, and or to understand better this game, I should maybe write as an example. You can't go there, because actually when we define the direction, we define where we can go. Yeah, because we have two-way movement. You can't go there. Okay, and here we need to return self. Okay, now let's go to the main file. And here, instead of writing the details, we're gonna ask a user to provide the direction for us. Okay, we say our current room is, let's say, kitchen. Not kitchen, maybe dining room. Yeah, to have some options. Current room is the dining room. And let me delete this. And then, okay, so we create the while loop. So today we are, we remind ourselves about many concepts that we learned so far. About the conditional statements, for loop, while loop. So while true, we will print, first we will just define this empty line for readability. And then we're gonna say current room. If the current room is dining room, then please provide us details about this room, about the current room we are staying in. As we did before, we just use the get details method. And then we're gonna use this command an input method. So we haven't yet learned about this, or maybe we have learned, maybe not, which is used to get input from our user. And then after we get this command, so command is going to be south, east, west, north. And then we're gonna update current room. So after we define the direction, we're gonna say we're gonna go to this room, or we're gonna say there is no room there, you can't go there. Current room, and then move, and then provide the direction. Direction is the command. Yeah. Now I think that's it. We can check it. Yeah, maybe we can check it now. Okay, very nice mistake. So if I use, I should use the double quotes. If I use a single quote, I need to use certain tricks to avoid. So if it encounters the same quote, it thinks that here is the end of this quote. I think I can use like this. Okay, a little bit strange. Oh, no, not strange. It's just, oh, we forgot to delete some details. So here is this sign that I have provided, which says to me, my program waits for my response. Let's say, let's give it a correct direction. So the correct direction is going to be west. Oh, it's not defined. West is not defined. Let's check it. Dining room, west. Should I provide it in the okay. Dining room, and then okay, let's oops, what I did. Move direction. Unfortunately, in this end of this study jam, I'm in the oh, okay. Oh no. Let's see again, what's the definition of our mistake? In line, okay, in main file, after this command, line 1 in module, name west is not defined. Name west is not defined. I think we defined west to be the dining room, but maybe okay, maybe okay. W Q move if direction is, let me check, direction is in the linked rooms, then return again I did a mistake. I think now we should be no, I think it's not a mistake. Let's just check if, because our statement is true, so we should have not even go to the else statement. Yeah. It's already 6.10. I'm not sure what's the mistake right now. Maybe we can stop here. And I'm going to, if I find the mistake, I'm going to just share with you next study jam with another topic. Because if you have time, then we can just debug here right now. Otherwise, you are free to just, we can just finish study jam here. Okay, I'm going to